What's up, everyone? It's Trainer Dale. In this video for you, I have my 12th Doctor and Clara Oswald Commander deck. This is definitely one of the decks that I'm going to be, like, my forever decks and stuff. And you saw the Be Kind version of it, and it still kind of is that. It's still, like, we demonstrate to help the person, struggling the most, the one most behind, out. But we you have a bit more interaction in here, and I pumped a little more of my, not pumped too much money. I had some cards lying around that I was like, you know what, they deserve to be in here. But before I go into the deck profile, I just want to shout out like all the little card, not little, but all the card shops that helped me out just a little bit. Um, Went to Kingslayer Games, and then picked up the 133 flipping tray. And then at Franklin Sons, I was able to get the this sticker for the TARDIS. So this is like its own TARDIS. And then if you saw that short, we bought a collector booster pack, and I was like, man, some of the foils. Before I wasn't really like too into like foiling out the deck, and I'm still not truly foiling it out. But I was like, I want to pick some stuff up. I want to shout out. So Kingslayer Games in where's that at? Costa Mesa area. The sleeves come from Psycho Turtle. These are just Dragon Shield blues, like the normal blue. I double sleeve this deck, so the inner sleeves are Ultra Pro ones that I got from La Habra at Kingslayer. Not Kingslayer. Shuffle and Cut. So that. And I went to Legacy Cards and Games in Glendale. And the person, it was kind of not like the slow day or anything like that, but the guy I was talking about like foiling out my commander deck for the Doctor Who deck, this one, and he was like, hey, let's go look through them. So he actually pulled out the piles of their Doctor Who singles, and I got a few foils, so especially like this Surge foil extended art version of the 12th Doctor. So I just think that's really cool that, the Doctor Who is about like traveling, going different places, and again, like when you build a deck, sometimes you just get from one place, you go to one place and do that, but everything, the sleeves, the deck box, all this stuff, just an amalgamation of all the different places I went to. So yeah, sorry, that's just this long intro to get through this. But yeah, just wanted to shout out all these little, again, not little, but all these shops that helped me out a little bit. So yeah, let's get right to it. So 12th Doctor and Clara Oswald, you guys know, whenever you cast your first spell that's not from hand, you can give it Demonstrate, and then whenever you copy a spell, you get a +1/+1 counter on the 12th Doctor, and then Clara can choose any color. It is a partner or a Doctor's companion, so it can be partner commanders. And whenever a triggered ability of a Doctor activates, then it does it an additional time. So for this deck, Clara helps us with the green. It's cool because she's like the only way the Doctor can go, I think, to get the black stuff. And I thought about it a lot to make this like more Grixis. But now we're going Teamer here. I'm going to cover up Joyra's face because sometimes it'll just like, what's the word? It'll focus on her. So yeah, we got TARDIS starting off, which I really, really love this art. But yeah, whenever TARDIS attacks, if you control a Time Lord, the next spell you cast this turn has Cascade, and you may Planeswalk. So if you want to play Planeswalk with the Doctor Who decks, it's super fun. I mean, Planeswalk is super fun in general, but yeah, we got the TARDIS. This is one of the foils I picked up. We got Nardole, Resourceful Cyborg. We can tap it and add blue for each counter on Nardole and spend it only to cast non-creature spells. It has Undying, so if it dies, if it had no +1/+1 counters, it can come back with a +1/+1 counter. And this can be your companion, which I love Nardole. I love the wedding with the Husbands of River Song episode, so Nardole's here. You can get really big too, because we can get a bunch of +1/+1 counters. Memory Worm, Paradox. Whenever you cast a spell anywhere from your hand, it deals 2 damage, and then they can discard a card and draw a card, and this gets a +1/+1 counter. So yeah, Memory Worms are really cool. I added this in late because I was like, you know what, I need more creatures. I feel like Spellseeker. So this deck also has tutors, and the original thought for tutors is if I'm able to copy these, then I can give my opponent stuff. But because we do run a Wombo combo in here, I can't help sometimes to just search out my wombo combo. So if I'm playing like a little more high powered, or where like you guys kind of saw if you watched the video in our game, like it can getting the right combination of things can just end games fast. So yeah, Spell Seeker here, if it focuses. Layla, the Blade Reforged, really fun card in this deck because we're going to be exiling things. We can play them, and Layla also gets the +1/+1 counters whenever we exile stuff from our library and or graveyard. So there's a few flashback things, a few stuff. So yeah, Layla can get pretty big, and it helps us with our main strategy of just exiling stuff and being trying to able to play with it. Dualcaster Mage, again, part of the Wombo combo. You'll see the other piece over there. I think you guys will know it. It's a Twin Flame. So you can make a bunch of copies of Dualcaster Mage and win the game that way. The 13th Doctor, added her back in. I didn't know if I was going to play the 13th, but it kind of gives our team pseudo vigilance. When we get +1/+1 counters going, and then we attack, we're able to, just untap all the creatures with +1/+1 counters at the end. River Song. Oh, really cool art. Glad I pulled this one. You draw cards from the bottom of the library. It's pretty funny. And whenever an opponent scries, surveils, or searches, then she gets a +1/+1, and then we burn them for that much of her power. So River Song, really cool. Really fun card. It's not like the most important card in the deck, but I enjoy having her. Obviously, her and the 12th Doctor ended up at Beryllium or wherever, and that card's in the deck. So just wanted to shout out to those moments. Solemn Simulacrum, Sad Robot, one of the it's like cute but scary episodes at the same time. So yeah, Sad Robot. Glad they used this robot because he is really sad. Danny Pink. Oh man, I love Danny Pink. Started actually being good in other decks too, but yeah, it has Mentor, and then creatures you control have whenever one or more counters are put on this creature for the first time each turn, draw a card. That's actually really strong because each creature has that ability. So there's things where we can give our like the 12th Doctor getting a +1/+1 counter, and then we cast something for exile, and then if we have the 13th Doctor, we use something else +1/+1 counter. So we can like draw a bunch with Danny Pink. I don't know if people knew how strong he as a card is, because all your creatures get that. So I kind of want to get another one for my Elsa deck for the Hilda, because man, that's if we're able to give all our creatures +1/+1 counters after tapping down something, Danny Pink just will give so much draw power in that deck too. Bill Potts. This is kind of like a non-Boda deck. There's really nothing that targets just it. But I don't care. I like Bill Potts. I love this season. This whole storyline was crazy, and I did pull this what is it called, Surge Foil from one of my packs. So I wanted to add in Bill Potts. She just copies things if it targets her, but like I said, we have nothing in here. But I am going to play my 12th Doctor companions. Got Yasmin Khan, really strong if it focuses. Exile the top card of the library until the next end step. You may play it, and it's a companion. If we wanted to go straight, this one would be the better companion to go into, because she's just very consistent. But yeah, I just wanted the. I'm not a Vorthos player or anything like that, but I do like having Clara hang out with the 12th Doctor. Urbrask, Heretic Praetor. I put him in here just because he's like the good. Was it Phyrexian Praetor? He has haste at the beginning of the upkeep. We can exile the top card of the library, and then we can play it. So it gives us impulse draw, an extra impulse draw. And for our opponents, although I think it's a little mean, it's more fair than some of the other ones. They have to impulse draw on their turn. Like, they don't get to draw a card, they impulse draw instead. So, a little mean, but he's the good Praetor, Alright, so a card that I picked up at the Legacy was, I had to get this Soul Ring foil. Really cool card. I was like, yeah, might as well. Same thing with the Arcane Signet. I was like, why not? Why not? It's cool. It's cool. So I'm actually gonna show this one. So put and pulled this one, the Talisman of Creativity. So I had to get the Talisman of Impulse foil. So yeah, these had to be foil. And then the last talisman, I don't have foil yet, but you know, I probably if I do see it, I probably will pick it up foil and upgrade this one eventually. So then they can all three can be foil. We got Lightning Greaves, just Lightning Greaves. We gotta protect our commander, so or give things haste so they can attack. You know, it's just there. It's good commander card. Sonic Screwdriver, also really good. The 12th Doctor is one of the few like doctors that can win through commander damage, and I have done it once. And cards like this where they can't be blocked, when this gets really big and can't be blocked, it's just GG's. I think that's really cool. Commander Sphere, again another episode I really like. I have copied this oddly enough and given it to an opponent so they can get more mana or draw if they need to. But love this episode with the Doctor's daughter with Jenny. We got River Song's Diary. This card is so confusing. It is super confusing, and I've only really played it twice. And the second time, like, it really didn't do much. But the first time, it got crazy. I think I had like 8 or 9 spells under this, and so every upkeep, we just got a random spell going on. I think Moogie was playing Ken, and Ken has a lot of instant sorcery cards. So when he was playing them from hand, I was just stealing them. Got Ponder. There's a lot of draw and ramp cards in this deck, just so then we can help out our opponents. Like I said, if they need it. So most of them are cantrips anyway, so let's just draw a card and we'll draw 2. Preordain. Start the TARDIS. Found this foily, obviously. Twin Flame for the Wombo combo with Dualcaster Mage. 3 visits. We got Farseek. Explore. I know it says you may play an additional land this turn, then we draw a card. So when we play it and we demonstrate it, I don't know if they're able to play it during the turn. So they just get a draw, but we can like play more lands and draw cards. And then Rampant Growth and Nature's Lore. Yeah, just again help out. These are not Doctor Who cards. If you want to, you can take these out. I mean, there's some non-Doctor Who cards in here anyways, but yeah. Solve the equation. Just search. There's just tutors in here. This Ecstatic Beauty. A card that, I mean, can work in this deck, but yeah, like, it's not necessarily needed, but I do love this episode again. The art, the Van Gogh episode is just so good. So good. Probably top 2 or definitely top 3 in my 11th Doctor episodes that I love. Search for Tomorrow. Yeah, suspend. It's an easy card to suspend. We can hold this until after we bring out the 12th Doctor, and then suspend it, and then help someone else out. Also get like a land card. Cultivate. Mystic Retrieval to salvage back something from the graveyard, and an instant or sorcery from the graveyard, and also has flashback, so we can double that if need be. Past in Flames. Ooh. So when I bought the commander decks, I didn't know we were gonna get Past in Flames. I don't know if I talked about this the last time in the first video, but I was like, whoa, that's a cool card, because I didn't know where to get this. And then when I bought the commander decks, they gave me one for each commander deck that I bought. So shout out to Psycho Turtle again. Into the Time Vortex. This card, oh man, if you saw this, if you watch the video, you'll know that like this card's super important. I almost didn't want to even add this card in the deck, because the randomness of Cascade, but the rebound, so good. So right here, Last Night Together, definitely throw this in here. It's way cooler if I can get the 12th Doctor and River Song to be the creatures I'm targeting. But yeah, this card has won me 2 games, just because the extra combats is just crazy. Especially when you make the Doctor unblockable, and then Sonic, yeah, it's cool. Blasphemous Act, just had to add it in here. It's almost like blasphemous to have it in the deck anyways, because the Doctor would not want this to ever happen. but it's just an instant. It's just a sorcery we can search out, and like I said, we needed like an extra board wipe or two in the deck because there were some games where things get too out of hand, and we obviously have the means to like tutor stuff and or look for stuff. So peak, it's just cute. I like it because it's cute. Look at target player's hand and draw a card. And it's funny because if you demonstrate this, we can just look at everybody's hand. Like, yeah, we can look at the other player's hands, or make a deal with someone like, hey, just let me know what's in their hand when you look at the opt. Again, just like the art, scry one, draw one. I'm like, I get why they didn't reprint this one in the Doctor Who decks. Like they had the other ones that draw cards, and this one already came out in Lord of the Rings. But yeah, opt, really simple card. Worldly Tutor, man, good card, good card. Again, it was mainly I threw in here just so I can search, so we can help other people if they needed to get their strategy going. But man, in this deck, it can search Spell Speaker, it can search Danny Pink, it can search cards that can really help us out. Even like River Song. So here's the other kind of like board wipe, Cyclonic Rift. We can just use the first mode, but most of the time if we have this in hand, we kind of want to hold it out for the overload. Think Twice. Again, I love it when the Capaldi cards are in foil. So Think Twice. Surge of Brilliance. Very inexpensive foils. Negate, decided to throw this one from the Mystical Archives because I like the art a lot. Moment's Peace, which has saved me twice. Like, I once also was able to demonstrate this because of the flashback. So I knew my opponent had a counterspell of some sort, but because I demonstrated it, it just prevents all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. So I let one of my other opponents copy it, and then I get it again. So there was 3 instances of this. So even the one counterspell couldn't stop it. So it 100% save me from losing that game. Heroic Intervention, good card. Good card's good card. Twin Cast and Reverberate to copy things. We're not here to copy stuff, but in a sense, these are almost also like counterspells because if our opponent counterspells something and we have the mana for it, we can just play this and then copy their counterspell to counterspell the counterspell. It's just crazy. Growth Spiral. Actual counterspell. Chaos Warp. Ooh, extended for probably my favorite episode of Doctor Who is Heaven Sent. So definitely happy to get that foil and extended. Beast Within was like our only real interaction other than Chaos Warp before. So yeah, it's good to have Chaos Warp, Beast Within, and then like 2 others. So there's not a lot of removal in this deck. There's not too much. We still kind of want to be kind. Reverse the Polarity. Again, really cool. Creatures can't be blocked. If we were able to get this and Last Night together, oh man, it can be GG's. We got Tempered in Solitude. This is kind of like quote unquote Exalted. Whenever a creature attacks alone, exile the top card of your library, and then you might play it this turn. So most of the time, our only really good attacker is the 12th Doctor. So we're only really attacking him early. So if we get this out early, it's good to start building our advantages. Heaven Sent, again, my favorite card. Or not my favorite card, my favorite episode. And had to definitely get this one in foil. So it just has Investigate, and then it deals 1 damage to each opponent. And if an opponent has 10 or less life, we draw 10 or less life, we draw 7 cards. But otherwise, we exile it and we can play it again. So just like the episode, like he's just trying to punch through the ice or the diamond or whatever. Just trying to punch through. And once we do, then we get to draw cards. Rhystic Study. Most of the time, I had this proxied in index, but this is my actual copy that Puddin got me, man, a few years ago as my Christmas gift. So still just decided to add this one in here. That's why I want to double sleeve, get deck box. Just I knew I was gonna this was gonna be like a forever deck type thing, so decided to keep it. Wild the Wasteland is basically Aerith, the Tormented Prophet, but as an enchantment. And I was gonna add her in here, but it's creatures are easily removed. So this is an enchantment. It's really cool from the Fallout set. Outpost Siege. We're gonna choose obviously cons. This is all the helping with exile, and then return the past. As long as it's our turn, each instant and sorcery have flashback in our graveyard. So really, really good. So as you can see, that's like the main deck, and this profile's been going super long. So we're just gonna shoot through the lands. Command Tower, which again had to get foily. Exotic Orchard, Frontier Biovac, Steam Vents, Fire Islet, Starcraft Coast, Frostboil, Snarl, Temple of Epiphany, Sulphur Falls, Training Center, Cascade Bluffs, Temple of Abandon. Again, really happy. Paulie card is his foil. 12th Doctor card. Stomping Ground, Sheltered Thicket, Cinderglade, Rootbound Crag, Rockfell Vale, Game Trail, Breeding Pool, Water, Log Grove, Dreamroot Cascade, Vine Snarl, Temple of Mystery, Flint Grove, Shooting Springs, and Trenzalore, Clock Tower. We got 3 of each basic land, so Island, Mountain, and Forest for us. And lastly, Evolving Wilds, just to end it off. I think when more fetch lands become available through the new set coming out, I think Modern Horizons 3, I don't know if I'll be putting them in here. Maybe. I just don't know if there's the space, obviously, because we're not running too many basic lands to begin with. Although we do have good names in the deck for lands. So maybe the filter lands, maybe some other things. But I do want to, again, this is one of the decks that I'll keep using and potentially upgrading through the years if I were to get rid of stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and all my thoughts and dilly-dallying. Again, thank you. All right, peace.